When they came out with atomic watches.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the West Milton Council meeting for December 12th, 2023. I'd like to ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and stay standing for the invocation by Pastor Stephen Peters. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray together. Father, we thank you so much for the privilege just to be here, to start this meeting off, talking to you, probably the most important things we can do. We thank you for these people, men and women who have dedicated a ton for us in our behalf. Lord, we praise you for that, and it's a hard job. It's hard to get everybody to agree in a community, and yet we have a wonderful community that's run pretty good for a lot of years because of these people and how you've used them in our life and others who have sat here in this place. So, Lord, I pray you'll guide them, you'll direct them, you'll give them wisdom. Lord, that you'll just bless their life and their families, and we'll certainly give you all the praise. Thank you for this wonderful year, God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, sir. All right. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hurst.
Present.
Mr. Tracy. Ms. Metz.
Here.
Ms. Gregory.
Present.
Ms. Kopp.
Here.
Mr. Horn.
Here.
Mr. Dorman.
Here.
All right. Next on the agenda is excusing any absent members from the previous month's meeting. Vice Mayor Kopp was absent from the workshop on November 28th. Are there any motions for excusing Vice Mayor Kopp?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman.
Yes.
Mr. Horn.
Yes.
Ms. Kopp.
Yes.
Ms. Gregory.
Yes.
Ms. Metz.
Yes.
Mr. Tracy. Mayor Hurst.
Yes. Everyone on council should have received the council meeting minutes for the November 14th, 2023 regular council meeting and the November 28th council workshop. Are there any questions or comments from council on the minutes? Are there any motions?
A motion, we approve the minutes from November 14th regular council meeting and November 28th council workshop.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman.
Yes.
Mr. Horn.
Yes.
Ms. Kopp.
Yes.
Ms. Gregory.
Yes.
Ms. Metz.
Yes.
Mr. Tracy. Mayor Hurst.
Yes. Manager Sheridan, are there any correspondence to council?
There was none received.
All right, thank you. Are there any comments from citizens regarding tonight's legislation?
Hi, I'm Mike Kraft here in West Milton. On CM 2369, did we get the opportunity to negotiate the prices on the water, or are we just extending the agreement
We did take
at
the
a price
opportunity.
increase? I'm sorry.
That's all right. We did have the opportunity, but there was no willingness to make any modifications on the other two parties of the agreement.
And so that means that we're continuing the old contract at
We
the
don't
same
have any
price?
other options.
Huh?
We don't have any other options.
But you're saying they refused to meet with you?
No, we met, they
Uh-huh.
refused to make changes.
Oh, they refused to make changes. So you did meet, but they refused to make changes?
Yes,
And so it's just an extension of the same contract, or?
yes, essentially. There may be some minor changes, but
Minor
the rates will remain the same.
And that will be addressed tonight in the discussion of CM
No.
2369? Or
No.
2367? 2369.
Well, if you read it says that it authorizes the municipal manager to extend the agreement. So,
Yeah, that's what I'm taking it to mean. It's extended without modifications, but you're saying it's minor changes?
There'll be some minor changes, right.
Okay. And you'll let us know what that is tonight?
No, once the agreement is signed, I'll bring it back to council. Once it's in final form, I should say.
Oh, so there won't be any discussion of the
Not tonight,
minor
this is not a
agreements,
workshop.
minor changes. Okay,
But it's also not being approved tonight either, I mean, because it hasn't been finalized yet.
yeah. So I was just getting at, there's no discussion about what the discussions were on the minor changes
That's
or any of
correct.
that. Okay. Huh. No further questions. Thank you.
Are there any other comments or questions from citizens? All right, moving along. First on the agenda is CM-23-64. Ms. Brosh?
It's an ordinance to appropriate funds necessary for the various departments and offices of the municipality of West Milton, Ohio for the year 2024.
All right, thank you. Manager Sheridan?
And this is the second reading of the budget for 2024.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions or comments from council? No, seeing none?
It is amended from the first reading, just so you
Slightly
know.
amended, we discussed the 1% approximate difference.
Great.
Sorry.
No questions? All right. Are there any motions for CM-23-64?
I move we accept CM-23-64.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Cop?
Yes.
Ms. Gregory?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Mr. Tracy? Mayor Hurst?
Yes. Next on the agenda is CM-23-65. Ms. Brosh?
It's an ordinance amending Chapter 96 Municipal Income Tax of the Code of Ordinances for the municipality of West Milton, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
All right, thank you.
And it's the first reading, so
Oh,
are
it's the
you
first
wanting me
reading.
to read the entire ordinance, is my question?
And if I may add, I believe the law director found language that that's not required as it was in years past.
If
But
you
it's up
waive
to
it,
you. If
that
you
is up
waive
to
it.
you.
Right.
It was my understanding we were doing this as an emergency.
Yes,
Okay.
because it has to be passed before January 1st.
And this language that's added is pretty much copied directly from what the state is telling us we have to adopt.
It is, yes. There's nothing in there that's different than what the House bill said.
Okay. So House bill tells us what we have to do.
Correct.
All right.
One way to put it.
okay with waiving the reading. If anybody, that doesn't matter to me, we'll make copies available.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
Renee really wants to.
But she did get out of the budget reading,
I know.
and he had to read it twice.
Oh, yeah, we kind of.
He told me about that,
Okay.
trust me.
We appreciate it, though.
All right, so is there a motion to waive the reading?
I motion we waive the reading.
Second.
All right.
You have to do a roll call.
Roll call?
Sorry, that's okay.
Wasn't prepared for that. Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Cop?
Yes.
Ms. Gregory?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Mr. Tracy? Mayor Hurst?
Yes. Before we vote on this, I'd like to make it available to everyone who wants a copy of it. Please just ask and we'll get you a copy of this ordinance. All right, Mike? All right, so CM-23-65. Are there any motions on this?
I make a motion we accept CM-23-65.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Cop?
Yes.
Ms. Gregory?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Mr. Tracy? Mayor Hurst?
Yes. All right. Next is CM-23-66.
It's a resolution authorizing the municipal manager to accept contract change orders from Outdoor Enterprise LLC for the Miami Street Water Main Rebid Project. Whereas on October 10th, 2023, council passed resolution CM-23-61, authorizing the municipal manager to enter into a contract with Outdoor Enterprise LLC for the Miami Street Water Main Rebid Project in the amount of $1,849,355. And whereas on December 6th, 2023, a contract change order was received from Outdoor Enterprise LLC to reflect the addition of a valve in order to keep East Tip Pike Booster Station from being shut down and having to depressurization of the system of east of the station, and the use of an 8-inch water main to tie into an existing 8-inch water main that was thought to be a 6-inch diameter water main. And whereas the contract change order increases the total contract amount by $17,525. And whereas council believes that these were necessary changes in order to continue with progress on the Miami Street Water Main Rebid project. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the municipality of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, the municipal manager is hereby authorized and directed to accept the contract change order from Outdoor Enterprise LLC from December 6, 2023, in the amount of $17,525. Section 2, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force from and after its passage.
All right, thank you. Manager Sheridan?
Yeah, as council may recall, when we passed the original authorizing legislation, I think in part because of the size of the project, it was decided to take the language out that covered change orders. And so we have to come back now to cover those change orders. On some projects, the authorizing legislation mentions specifically authorizing certain amount of change orders. On this project, it did not. I will say the project went very smoothly. Contractor did a fine job, and the project is going to be done way ahead of schedule. So those are all positives to get the road back open. So this is just coming back, and there were some minor change orders that require your authorization for us to pay.
All right, thank you. Any questions from the council?
Yeah, we thought this was a 6-inch.
Yeah, there were a lot of surprises when you're digging up old lines that age. So, yeah, there was a difference in size that did increase the cost.
And is it a good thing or a bad thing that it was an 8-inch the whole time?
That's a good thing,
Okay,
yeah.
that's what I was thinking. And was it that 8-inch to what we thought was a 6-inch? Was that one of the main reasons for doing the project, or?
No, the main reason was the primary line was overall a 6-inch.
Yeah, it
It's
was
just a
Okay, so
connection.
the majority of it was
a 6-inch.
6-inch, and we
Yes,
need,
yes.
okay, that's where I wanted to
This
make
was
sure.
just a connection.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Are there any motions for CM-23-66?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to accept resolution CM-23-66.
Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Cobb?
Yes.
Ms. Gregory?
Yes.
Ms. Smets?
Yes.
Mr. Tracy? Mayor Hurst?
Yes. All right, next on the agenda is CM-23-67. Ms. Brosh.
It's an ordinance to amend the 2023 appropriations and declaring an emergency. Whereas council by ordinance CM-22-53 adopted 2023 appropriations for the various funds utilized by the municipality. And whereas it is necessary to adjust the appropriations to reflect unanticipated expenditures. Now therefore be it ordained by the council of the municipality of West Milton that Section 1, the following amendments to the 2023 appropriations of the municipality of West Milton, Ohio are hereby made. For the general fund, personal services, for security of persons and property, it's currently $1,106,100, amended by $24,000. The amended appropriation is $1,130,100, for a total personal services of a current appropriation of $1,428,625, amended by $24,000, to the amended appropriation of $1,452,625. Transfers to the water capital improvement. It was amended by $100,000, and the amended appropriation is $100,000. So the total transfers is $75,000, amended by $100,000, and the amended appropriation is $175,000. Total other expenditures, the current appropriation is $1,016,400, amended by $158,000, for the amended appropriation of $1,174,400, for a total general fund of a current appropriation of $2,520,025, amended by $282,000, for amended appropriation of $2,802,025. Nope, $2,802,000. $2,802,025. There you go. Special revenue funds, the street levy, the current appropriation is $230,000. $700, amended by a negative $140,000 for an amended appropriation of $90,700. Street construction and maintenance, total other expenditures, current is $199,650, amended by $17,000 for an amended appropriation of $216,650. Total street construction and maintenance for a current appropriation of $339,900, amended by $17,000 for an amended appropriation of $356,900. American Rescue Plan is amended by $507,757.13 for an amended appropriation of $507,757.13 for a total special revenue funds of current appropriations of $594,485.17, amended by $384,757.13 for an amended appropriation of $979,242.30. The enterprise funds, water capital improvement, the current is $1,859,700, amended by a negative $614,700 for an amended appropriation of $1,245,000. Sewer capital improvement, total expenditures of currently $153,700, amended by $350,000 for an amended appropriation of $503,700. Total sewer capital improvement, a current appropriation of $160,221, amended by $350,000 for an amended appropriation of $510,221. The water fund, total other expenditures, currently it's $821,800. It's amended by $76,500 for an amended appropriation of $898,300. For the total water fund of currently $1,348,400, amended by $76,500 for an amended appropriation of $1,424,900. The sewer fund, total other expenditures is $330,500. It's amended by $78,000 for an amended appropriation of $408,500. Total sewer fund is $840,150, amended by $78,000 for a total amended appropriation of $918,150. Total enterprise funds is currently $4,690,221, amended by a negative $110,200 for an amended appropriation of $4,580,021. Total appropriations of all funds currently is $7,858,251.75. It's amended by $556,557.13 for an amended appropriation of $8,414,808.88. Section 2, any previously drawn warrants on these funds in excess of the original and amended appropriations are hereby authorized. Section 3, this ordinance is hereby declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of the public peace, health, safety, and general welfare, and shall be effective upon passage.
All right, thank you.
Sorry about that.
All good. All right. Manager Sheridan?
Yes, these are the changes that were discussed at the last council workshop. Typically, the finance director would also be here. Hopefully you don't have too many questions. She had a family situation that required her to leave, so she's not with us tonight. I will try to answer if you have any questions, but it's essentially exactly the same as we discussed at the workshop.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions from council? No? All right, are there any motions for CM 23-68?
I motion we approve CM-23-67.
No, wait, it was 67.
67.
Second.
My bad.
Second.
All right, roll,
Sorry.
yeah, roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Cobb?
Yes.
Ms. Gregory?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Mr. Tracy? Mayor Hurst?
Yes. All right. I was trying to speed things up. All right. So next on the agenda is CM-23-68. Ms. Brosh.
It's a resolution to purchase fuels that will be utilized by all municipal divisions in 2024 through 2026. Whereas fuel is needed for all municipal operations, including police department, fire department, utilities department, and service department functions. And whereas formal bidding took place in accordance to West Milton Municipal Ordinance 33.18, Section 3, and whereas the project will be funded out of the 2024 operating budget. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Municipality of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, The council approves purchasing of fuel from R.D. Holder Oil Company of New Carlisle, Ohio, 45344, for a cost of 25 cents above wholesale per gallon beginning January 1st of 2024, continuing through December 31st, 2026. Section 2, the Director of Service is hereby authorized to execute all the proper documents and contracts required to complete said program. Section 3, this resolution shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage.
All right, thank you. Manager Sheridan.
Yeah, I'll turn this over to Service Director Herron if you have any questions. This is also the same as we discussed at the last council workshop.
Sure. Just a refresher, we've been purchasing fuel from Co-Alliance for the last, we had a 3-year with them. So we rebid for another 3 years, and RD Holder actually came in a lot cheaper than Co-Alliance. RD Holder's at 25 cents above wholesale for a 3-year period, and basically 5 cents when we add the winter blend to the diesel. So they're holding that 25 for 3 years, and Co-Alliance was at 40 cents for this coming year, 40 cents for the following year, and then for 26 they were actually at 45 cents. So it's a pretty good deal, actually. Holding that price. You never know what fuel is going to do, so we'll get I've already contacted both companies. We'll get everything swapped out and be rolling by January 1st.
All right, thank you. Any questions from council on CM 2368? All right. Let's see, are there any motions for CM 2368?
I'll make a motion for resolution CM-23-68.
Second.
All right. Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Cobb?
Yes.
Ms. Gregory?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Mr. Tracy? Mayor Hurst?
Yes. All right, next on the agenda is CM 23-69. Ms. Brosh.
It's a resolution authorizing the municipal manager to extend the agreement with the City of Troy and the Board of Miami County Commission for the continued purchase of a public water supply. Whereas on December 18th, 2003, and pursuant to Resolution 03-37, the municipality of West Milton entered into a water agreement with the City of Troy, Ohio, and the Miami County Board of Commissioners by which the municipality purchases public water supply through Miami County as supplied by the City of Troy. And whereas said water agreement is set to expire at the end of the year 2023. And whereas council has determined that it is in the municipality's best interest to continue to receive the municipality's water supply from the Miami County Board of Commissioners as supplied by the City of Troy. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the municipality of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, the council hereby authorizes the municipal manager to extend the current agreement with the Board of Miami County Commission and the City of Troy to supply a public water supply to the municipality of West Milton. Section 2, the municipal manager is hereby directed to execute all the proper documents relating to said agreement. Section 3, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force from and after its passage.
All right, thank you. Manager Sheridan.
Yeah, as council's well aware, one of the highest priorities that you established when you hired me as your village manager was to find other options for a water supply. And I have spent quite a bit of time and effort in that endeavor. Unfortunately, I've been unable to find any other viable options to replace our current agreement with the county and the City of Troy. So at this time, the contract ends at the end of the year, and so Troy is willing to continue it. As I mentioned, there's some minor changes that they may entertain, but essentially the meat of the agreement will remain the same. So if they raise their rates, our rates go up. And if you're not aware, technically we buy the water from the county because the City of Troy sells it to the county, and the county gets a discount greater than we would get if we bought it directly. So while the county increases they increase it their price. They buy it from Troy and bump it up and then sell it to us and bump it up. It's still less expensive than if we bought it directly from Troy. So it's a little complicated, but that will remain the same. And it's not a great option, but it's the only option.
All right, thank you.
By minor change, what do you?
For example, we proposed 4 5-year renewable terms. Troy shot that down. I've been talking to the county. They may be interested in some other possibilities, but I think 98% of the agreement will remain the same.
Thanks. Any other questions from council? All right, are there any motions for CM 2369?
I'll make a motion for resolution CM-23-69.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman,
Yes.
Mr. Horn,
Yes.
Ms. Cott,
Yes.
Ms. Gregory,
Yes.
Ms. Metz,
Yes.
Mr. Tracy, Mayor Hurst.
Yes. All right. Next on the agenda is CM-23-70. Ms. Brosh.
It's a resolution authorizing the municipal manager to apply for, accept, and enter into a water pollution control loan fund, WPCLF agreement on behalf of the municipality of West Milton, other participating municipalities in Miami County for planning, design, and/or construction of wastewater collection and treatment facilities, and designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan. Whereas the municipalities of West Milton, Laura, Potsdam, and Union, along with unincorporated areas of Miami County, Union Township, seek to evaluate regional wastewater collections and treatment alternatives. And whereas the municipality of West Milton intends to apply for Water Pollution Control Loan Fund, WPCLF, for the planning, design, and/or construction of the wastewater collection and treatment facilities. And whereas the Ohio Water Pollution Control Loan Fund, WPCLF, requires the government authority to pass legislation for application of a loan and the execution of an agreement, as well as designating a dedicated repayment source. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Municipality of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, the municipal manager is hereby authorized to apply for a WPCLF loan, sign all documents for, and enter into a Water Pollution Control Loan Fund, which is the WPCLF, with the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency and the Ohio Water Development Authority for planning, design, and/or construction of wastewater collection and treatment facilities on behalf of the municipality of West Milton, Ohio. Section 2, that the dedicated source of repayment will be local funds utility rates. This should be Section 3, that this resolution shall take effect and be enforced from and after the earliest period allowed by law.
All right, thank you. Manager Sheridan.
Yeah, as I hope everyone is aware, our current wastewater treatment facility is going to need to be replaced sooner rather than later. One of the options in looking how we might accomplish that would be to put together a regional operation that served more than the village. We have a good example already in place with Ludlow Falls. We provide sewer and water, they're our customer, and so they help pay for improvements. This is a grant program to explore a regional, probably Union Township approach, where we would be the provider. The most important part that I want to make clear, that if we accept this, it will be because they've determined it's a forgivable loan. Because of the income of the communities we'll be serving, it will in effect be a grant. If we have to pay it back, we probably will refuse it. But the point is, we can study the viability of providing sanitary sewer to unincorporated portions of the county and/or the smaller municipalities. And again, no one will be committed to it until the plan is in place and you actually can put numbers to it. This would be the first step to see if it's viable. Does that make sense?
Yep.
What source of, or what sort of input are we getting for the desire of this from the other communities?
We've had meetings with leaders of those communities and they've expressed support. We couldn't have got the grant if they weren't interested in participating.
Any other questions?
Does it benefit us having them as customers?
Absolutely. I would explain, the most simple way to explain it is the more customers you have to help pay for the new plant, the smaller each customer's slice of the pie will be. That's one of the advantages that a larger community has over a smaller one that there's no way to fix that. If you have 10,000 residents and you can divide the cost of any capital improvement between 10,000, it's much less expensive per resident than if you have 5,000. And so that's why a regional approach is of a high priority for the EPA. If you consolidate plants, for example, right now all small plants have a hard time keeping licensed operators. If you don't have a licensed operator, it may not function the way it's supposed to. So because there's not enough operators, if you combine and multiple communities use one facility, you only need one operator. That's just one example. Any other questions?
Well, when we connected to Ludlow Falls, didn't we get mostly funding to cover, like?
My understanding is it paid 100% of all the improvements, including the connection of the homes and businesses into the system. Ludlow Falls is a big fan of this project because they've seen how it worked for them.
Well, I just want to thank you for looking into this, because I can remember when we took you on the tour down there, you looked at it and thought, oh man, this needs updated. So I knew that, we all knew that was coming. But this, could be really beneficial. And I also want to thank you for the water, just looking into that. I know that was a lot of time and effort, and it's a complaint with our cost of water, but hey, we're lucky to be able to turn our tap on and have water. When you think about it that way, I think you take it for granted, so.
And I guess I would add, that doesn't mean I'm done looking.
Yeah.
I can continue to search for options, and if one appears, we'll take advantage of it.
Thanks. Any other questions? Are there any motions for Resolution CM-23-70?
Make a motion to accept CM-23-70.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Cop?
Yes.
Ms. Gregory?
Yes.
Ms. Metz? Yes. Mr. Tracy? Mayor Hurst?
Yes. Next on the agenda is the municipal manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of items I'd like to bring to your attention. Recently, the Service Department completed our leaf pickup, and they did, as always, a really good job. I thought it would be helpful for the community to understand that took 808 man-hours. This is a report that Mr. Herron compiled. We picked up 75 loads or 241,500 pounds of leaves. That's 120 tons. There are a lot of advantages to having a leaf pickup. You don't get them burned and people get them out of their yard. One of the biggest advantages, they don't go down into the stormwater system. If they don't pick up your leaves and they work their way into the street and they go down to the stormwater, that clogs it up, that causes problems, and so it's not just to help everybody out, because it does do that as well, but there's other benefits to having a leaf pickup program. And this time, we had some residents ask if we could extend it. I'm surprised with the dry weather, but we had several trees that hadn't dropped their leaves yet, and the crew changed their plans and extended it and picked up quite a bit more leaves. So Ben and his crew did a great job. One last fact, they went past each residence 11 times. So you had 11 opportunities to get your leaves picked up. So they did a great job. The other issue I want to bring to your attention, if you've tried to call Village Hall in the last 2 or 3 weeks and you got a busy signal, we have been fighting a problem with our phone system. We've gotten both the company that did the hardwiring and the company that actually controls the lines. Both have been out multiple times. What's happening is the system is set up when somebody's on the phone and somebody else calls, it rolls to another line. That stopped working. So if one person's on the phone, you get a busy signal. Well, obviously residents aren't happy if they can't get through. We've put it on the Facebook page, we've put it on the city website. We have had somebody out here almost every day. They'll come out and they say, we've got it fixed, and I'm not even sure they're back in their car before it does it again. And we keep calling them. The phone system, I think, is about 10 years old.
Yeah, that's about right, I think.
They're very expensive. We don't want to have to buy a new one, but so far, we've been unable to fix that problem. So we're going to keep working on it, but I know it's frustrating for residents if they can't reach us. So we're doing everything we can to resolve it, but that's the issue.
Who did we purchase that system from 10 years ago?
Oh, I hope you know, Ben, because I
Like
don't.
Executone, does that sound right?
I don't know.
I mean, I would have to think that a phone system has a lifespan longer than 10 years.
But I bet the warranty isn't.
I mean,
Yeah, I can't remember for sure.
I would agree with you. The technology has changed so much. We've tried everything, we'll continue to try everything till we get it fixed.
All right, thank you.
That's all I have, Mayor.
I'd just like to
Thanks.
second the shout out to the street department for the leaf pickup. We put out a lot of leaves at our house. I collect them for some of our neighbors, and just insane. They sat for no longer than, I tried to do them over the weekend, and man, they'd be gone no sooner than they'd be put out. And as always, just an excellent job.
Yep, thank you. Thanks.
One other thing I'll point out, it's not like everything else stopped while they were doing leaf pickup. They did all the other things they normally do and did leaf pickup at the same time.
Matt.
I'd like to point out too that we compost all that too, right, Ben?
Yep.
I mean, so it's not, I think it would be super cool if some way down the road, if we had a way to make that compost available to folks in town, but that's like gold back there just
If people
sitting.
call and want some,
Yeah.
we
We do
make
that.
every effort to get it for them. We
Yeah.
don't, we basically will load them just so they, we're back there with them. Somebody needs to be back there. And,
Yeah, it takes
but-
manpower, it
Yeah.
takes,
Right.
I know it's not
good
something,
stuff.
yeah, but I think it's awesome.
All right, thanks. Is there any old business?
Yes, I have old business. I have lots of business. Well, first, I wanted to say how nice the railing looks down by the park, and just, have you guys seen it? It's beautiful. And I did have someone ask me if we were putting up any type of barricade, like a low, I don't know, wall or something where the parking spots are.
Yeah, we'll probably,
I don't know, just throwing that
instead
out.
of putting, like guardrail back up or something,
Yeah,
we were thinking
yeah.
about parking blocks.
Yeah, okay.
That way their cars stop, but that doesn't impede
Yes.
the view
Yeah,
of it.
because it is a really nice view. And then the Christmas tree lighting. Holy cow, we want to thank everyone who came out from West Milton, and I would think that we had other people from out of town. We had a small parade, and then the tree lighting, and Hill Sarver did hot dogs and popcorn, and they had to run to the store like 3 times during the event to get more hot dogs, and we had an awesome Santa and a realtor who did hot chocolate. It was an amazing event, and it was packed, so I don't know, it was just really awesome. So next year we're and that group that put it on, Project Revival, along with this, the city helped with the logistics, but they're all volunteers, so they take time to set all of that up and get it organized, and so thanks for doing that. And then this is my last council meeting. I'm very sad, but just busy with kids and all of that, but I just want to say how awesome our town is. I want to thank Jeff, all of our council members, Lene, Mrs. Wright, Ben, Chief. You guys are just amazing people, and I don't know, just a great group of people. And I know, you're not perfect, I'm not perfect, so just give this council grace, We try our best, and we want, what's best for our community, so just lift them up, and if you're ever interested in running, I highly recommend it, because it's a good group of people. So thanks.
Well, on that note, I would like to thank Vice Mayor Kopp
Yes.
for all your years of service to the citizens of West Milton as a member of council,
Okay.
for sacrificing the time with your family and sporting events and stuff like that to come help run the business of the city, for answering questions from everyone who knew exactly where your business was and exactly how to get a hold of a member of council.
This is what they would say, are you still on city council? And I'd say, yes, why?
I'd like to thank you for being the downtown business news reporter and liaison, for
Yes.
helping everyone stay up to date on the events that were going on downtown, and for being a great friend and colleague, and we hope that will continue. You're invited back all the time.
Okay.
And we hope that you'll still at least send us an email on the goings-on downtown so that we can announce it during the new business times.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yep.
Well,
And-
thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right, that was it.
And when people come in and say, are you still on council? You can say no, but say, but I still have their ear.
That's right.
And while Greg's not here tonight, I'd also like to say thank you to Greg for just being, a different point of view and to ask great questions. He always asks such good questions, and I'd really like to, thank him for all the time that he sacrificed and gave to us, and, the opinions and stuff that he gave us. Thanks, Greg. We
Yes.
appreciate you. Let's see. Next on the agenda is any new business? Nope, no new business. All right. Any comments by citizens?
Good job. Good job, Sarah.
My name's Robert Cox, live here in West Milton. I just have one question. I know I'm coming on the board, and I'm gonna be new. But I got a question to ask you. CM 2369. How can we vote to okay something when we're not sure what this company's gonna come back and say, we're gonna increase you by $90,000? I'm just asking you, how can we vote for something that we don't know is gonna happen?
That's the way the agreement's written currently.
So you guys have already accepted it, no matter what they raise it.
The previous agreement that was signed 20 years ago was written so that if the city of Troy or the county raised the rates, our rates went up automatically.
I mean, they hear us.
That's always been the case.
They hear us on this meeting tonight. You know they watch it. They know that you've already okayed it, so they can come back at you at any amount and say, this is what you're gonna have to pay.
That's always been the case, because we don't have another option to supply water at a less expense.
Well, then how can we pass it when you people you can't keep affording these big increases, sudden increases? I mean, I know you say you're in a bind, yeah, you had to make the decision. But I couldn't see everybody passing this just like that when the city of Troy can be watching this and every one of them knows that you've already passed it. You've already approved it.
It's always been that way for the last 20 years. That's exactly the agreement the village had in the past.
But part of it, Bob, is understanding what the City of Troy Water Department is. They're a public utility. They are not a for-profit business. So usually stuff that they pass on increases to the county that then to us are based on what it takes them to continue to do what they do. There's got to be a little faith in other public institutions that they're not passing out bonus checks to the water department once they raise ours, things like that. It is a little bit of one organization over there doing a lot of work for many of us to have that public utility. It's just a little bit of faith we have to extend on that.
Okay.
Well,
Do you have to sign so many years automatic?
They'd like to renew it for another 20. There is an out clause.
But you said if we could find another source, we would take it. But if you sign a 20-year contract?
There is an out clause where we can cancel with so much notice. Again, that's the agreement you have now.
So we didn't sign anything. We just authorized the manager to, if it comes back and these minor changes are truly just minor, they're not saying, we have to donate firstborn children or anything. If that's the case, he can reject it and we have to, find something else to do. But we didn't sign anything.
I just wanted to ask the question.
No, I'm glad you asked, because it's a good question, but
I just want to make sure if we do ever find another source, we can get out of it and not pay what we're paying.
you can. It would take some time, but you can.
Okay, thank you.
All right, are there any other comments by citizens?
I'd just like to say
Could you please come to the mic?
I just wanted to say, when Bob asked the question, I understood it a lot better, that's all I wanted to say.
All right, cool, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Paul Reese, and I reside just north of Pickwild in Spring Creek Township, and I'm here just to address the council this evening and introduce myself. I'm a candidate for the Miami County Sheriff's race in the March 19th, 2024 primary election. Recently, I was certified by the Miami County Common Police Court's Sheriff's candidate, and sometime in the next several days, I'll be filing my petitions with the Board of Elections. I know that most of you received my letters, and Ms. Gregory, I think, was your seat perhaps listed as vacant on the Board of Elections when, because the reason I'm asking is I just didn't have a letter for you, and I feel like I left you out, but I did pin one to you here just a second ago. So
It's okay.
if I may approach and give it to you, I just didn't want you to feel left out. I mean, it's suitable for framing, I'm sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't be worth anything in 20 years either.
It could be.
So on the family side, I just wanted to give you a little bit of background about myself. I'm married to my wife Denise of 30 years. We've got 6 children, 12 grandchildren out of that. Please don't ask for their names or dates of birth because I'm really going to make myself look bad on that. When I made my decision to run again, my military mindset told me to be prepared to answer a few questions for any voter as it pertained to this campaign. Those questions included: who am I? What are my qualifications? Where do I see the current state of the Miami County Sheriff's Office? Where do I plan to take the agency? What's my plan to get it there? What are my initiatives? And maybe also what are my philosophical beliefs in certain areas? A few highlights of my background: I have a combined 38 years of experience in the field of civilian and military law enforcement. I served 16 years as Miami County Sheriff's Deputy, another 10 years as a Montgomery County Sheriff's Deputy. Concurrent to that service, I also served 25 years in the United States military, with the last 15 years as a special agent with the Army Criminal Investigation Division Command. In 2009, I became a commissioned officer and recently retired as a chief warrant officer. As a special agent and a federal law enforcement officer, I provided executive level protection to the top 7 leaders within the Department of Defense, which included the Secretary of Defense and the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I have a background in areas of anti-terrorism, counter-surveillance, close-in protection, and threat assessment investigations. 2 years ago, I also obtained my state license as a substitute teacher. My formal education includes a bachelor's degree in organizational management and a master's in business and organizational security management. If elected, I have over 20 operational leadership initiatives and goals that I want to move forward with. I'll highlight just a few of those positive things that I'd like to address. I want to reassess the Miami County jail issues and upgrade the court security operations. As you're aware, the jails and the courts are 2 of the main statutory responsibilities of the sheriff. I want to set up new neighborhood watch programs within the sheriff's jurisdiction. I have a plan to work on our drug problem on the enforcement side while also supporting rehabilitation services and actively working to find more solutions to get people healthy and get them back to their family and maybe stay out of my jail. I'd like to address the homeless and homeless veteran working group. I have a plan to do that across the county. Teen mentorship program, human trafficking and child sex trafficking. 8 years ago, I made mention of this human trafficking and child sex trafficking, and it was scoffed at, and I was made fun of. And I said then, and I'll double down on this particular area, this is absolutely, I've been all over the world, and this is absolutely the worst thing that we could experience. Recently, I read an article where there's 1,000 missing children just up in the Cleveland area. The United States of America routinely ranks #1 and #2 in child sex trafficking, the purchase of children. That's a lot to swallow, but how is it that we are competing for that #1 and #2 slot in the United States of America with the Middle East, with Cambodia, with Laos, with Africa? That doesn't make any sense. I want to improve and open up our jail ministry program. My previous experience working out of Quantico and the Pentagon will assist in developing a robust school and workplace threat management process for our team, which is designed to assist us in the early warning, identification, and intervention of high-risk individuals in our community. Lastly, I've designed a program also based on previous experiences, which will interface our team with about 125 different businesses across the county, our farming community, and other community stakeholders. Our focus in this area will include relationship building, information sharing, early warning, early reporting capabilities, training, and resource support. The business, farming, anti-terrorism, and crime program encompasses a proactive approach across the entire spectrum of the criminal element. Now, the sheriff is in a unique position as chief law enforcement officer and part of the executive branch of government. We need a strong sheriff with leadership attributes and new vision, and we need to address some of these uncertain times that our country finds ourselves in. Next, a law enforcement career. This is very near and dear to my heart, can ruin our men and women. Alcoholism, suicide, depression, family issues runs rampant in our profession, and I want to do my best to change that trajectory for our team, and more importantly, maybe for their families who support them. Finally, I've served with and understand the best military leaders at various levels all over the world. The most important attribute that all of them had is that they wasn't afraid to wear their faith and God on their sleeve. And with that example, that's something that I will carry with me at all times in the discharge of my duties. Thank you for allowing me this time to address the council. God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other comments from citizens? All right, seeing none, are there any motions for adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
One question about the workshop. Are we
Okay.
still having the workshop?
For December. We usually cancel.
December workshop.
December 26th, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
we usually cancel that.
All right, so.
Thanks, Mike.
I was looking at the calendar too, and I could.
Oh, I heard it in your voice. Mike, it was all over your voice. I'd like the night off. That's what I heard.
All right, so is anyone interested in, canceling the workshop for the December 26th?
Yes, we're interested.
I motion we cancel the December 26th workshop.
Second.
Third?
There you go, Sarah.
All right. Roll call, please.
Hold on one second.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Mr. Dorman?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Ms. Cobb?
Yes.
Ms. Gregory?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Mr. Tracy? Mayor Hurst?
Yes.
Also our first meeting
All
in
right.
January.
You need to-
The second.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
Next council meeting will be January 2nd because of swearing in the new elected officials. Not
Yep.
the second Tuesday of the month, but the first Tuesday of the month.
Correct.
Thank you, Councilor Horn.
Yep. According to the charter, if there's an election for a council member in that November prior, then in January, it's the first Tuesday instead of the second Tuesday. So
Will that be just for swearing in only, or will it
it'll be a full council meeting.
It'll be a regular council.
be
Yep.
regular council?
All right. Cool. So, is there any motion for adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? Ayes have it, so ordered. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you.